And instead, in steps two fresh players. Keenan, a player that you need to be very excited about, and Packbull returns to the fore. I'm super keen to see what Keenan can deliver today, Ace.
Are you getting me now, Des?
I am getting you now, mate. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Excellent news. I don't think I was muted before, but here we go. So we are coming into Clubhouse. NaVi versus Secret, as you've said. Big game for the top of the table team from stage one. They need to get themselves off on the right foot here. But Secret, a little bit of an unknown, Des. A little bit of a secret, you might say. We don't know exactly what we're going to get out of them, especially when you get 40% of the roster has changed. It is big numbers in terms of those changes and settling in. We're going to see the same for G2 later on as well, and it's always a fascinating one to see how quickly these players can settle. I mean, Secret were a team that they weren't really the most stable in stage one, to be fair, so new players in the mix again might not be a recipe for success immediately, at least.
Absolutely, yeah. Some interesting bans coming out, by the way, with the smoke coming through. I was going to say the Kai should follow as the second one, given the Thatcher has been taken away. Elsie has an absolute field day, and you have to rely on the Maverick to do all the hard work of opening walls, hatches, the list goes on. What I'm most excited to see is something that Jess commented on here. NaVi love this map. Not that Secret don't. Historically, it was one of their best maps, but as you commented, 40% of this lineup has changed. That's 2 out of 5 if you can't quite do the math. So there's a few things to look at there in terms of where preference might lie. Perhaps the new players in Packbull and Keenan weren't too keen on this map. Time will tell. We're going to start things off on the top floor. Some might argue a bit uncharacteristic. We've seen teams starting downstairs, at least throughout all of APAC yesterday. But let's get into it. We saw that Flores for a second being hovered by Doki, going to be changed away at the last second instead to bring along the Iana. So that'll be more grenades coming to the team, 4 in total, as well as, of course, that Gemini clone, which can feed you some juicy information.
Not seen a lot of Flores yet. Obviously, you know, we know that APAC do things a little bit differently. We did have quite a bit of Flores presence yesterday over there in APAC. I can tell you actually how much it was. Picked 60% of the time when available, so quite a high pick rate for him coming in on the attackers. We saw a little bit of a drop in rate, so players like Ash just going by the wayside sometimes to make room for him, but that hasn't been the case, certainly here for NaVi. At least they are sticking with a pretty standard lineup there. We've got the Blur, the Iana, the Ace, the Xavia Maverick, all pretty much ticking boxes. So we're coming into round one, as you say. They're going to be defending upstairs. Our team Secrets to start things out. Keenan having a little draw battle with Doki there, as Doki just keeps himself hidden up on the top of those speakers. You can get an angle, you can see it. There we go, Keenan. He locks it down and gets rid of that intel. So
challenge
into
number 1.
the action phase. That's it.
That's how it starts out, mate. Have a fight with the drone. It's the way that everyone should be entering EUL, is the way that I look at this. But Secretly starting life off on the east balcony. No surprises there. Being on the Maverick, your number one objective is to get this wall opened up, and they should waste absolutely no time in doing so. I think in this case here, once he gets this opened up, you're also going to have some pressure coming in from the west side. So with this east breach, my God, that's a right tongue twister at points. East breach being opened up, it restricts the defenders a little bit inside of CCTV itself. Will be forced to pull back inside a garage or into cache. The idea then being that you have other hard breaches open up inside of construction, which we're seeing right now. Thank you very much. And that means that for the defenders, it's hard to play inside of either of the sites. NaVi then have the choice on where they go for the plant. Do they try and clear out garage, for example, and go for a default in behind the server stack, or do they go for something inside of cache? Time will tell, but with the committal coming in from 3 members currently in, out towards the west side, this screams to me it's likely to be a cache take.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 3, as you say, established. We've got the Selma devices trying to open up that construction wall. There will be a successful impact trick which will prevent that happening. The work will continue from NaVi, no doubt, to try and open that wall. East breach, as you say, opened as part of the checklist, but not going to be manned too heavily as the push starts to move in from construction and logistics. Doki just having a little peek through the door there to see if he can catch anybody out. Sleben is just dicing with a bit of danger there as he takes a look over the desk, but the stars do not align for Doki. The timing does not allow for him to catch the Maestro out, who is able to dip back, but pops out at the wrong time this time. Doki finds the headshot through that breach in the construction wall. That's going to be the opening kill, and that is 5 versus 4 with a big operator gone there with the Maestro off the board.
I love the paciness of this from NaVi as well. Both walls open up inside a minute and a half. They aren't still aware of Hive playing on the downstairs. If they position this wrong, they're walking into death, but I can't imagine until that wall is fully opened, anyone's going to want to go pressing forwards. No drones on the downstairs. Gomfi fallen to about 30 HP here, being burnt out by his own flames. Not yet going down, but you've got to think about the pressure in Hive. Almost being exposed there, should be able to get himself back to site safely, or at least cause a little more trouble around the map. Here we go though, Plant going down from Nate inside a cache ace.
Secretly, he's got the pressure underneath to try and prevent any sort of vertical denial. That's what he's there for, but that's not the attempt that Secret are making. Instead, Keenan goes route one, finds the headshot onto Nath and takes the ace out. That leaves the diffuser on the ground for the time being. But this time, 15 seconds left for NaVi to do something about this. Kills, they bounce backwards and forwards in either direction, but Secret, they come out on top for the time being. But secretly, he manages to level things up with a push up the cache stairs. 3 seconds and time could be the enemy here. Save starts to get that diffuser down in a 1 versus 2. They scramble in to find him. Can they do it before he gets off the diffuser? No, but it doesn't matter, as even with the challenge coming in from Save, Secret are able to lock it down, find that kill, and disable that activated diffuser. Successful defense in round 1. That's CCTV and cache ticked off, and Secret, the nerves are already settled.
Well, with rounds like that, you won't be saying who the bloody hell is Keenan for too long. A 3K coming up against last season's top standers at the table. And although it looked like NaVi were on for some excellent pace, I commented that both walls, the east wall and construction, were opened up inside about a minute and a half. They had so much time to play with. But even when the plant was starting to come through, C4s were flying. Secret sprung into action. Keenan specifically doing a lot of work for them in that round. A little bit scrappy in the dying seconds into 2 versus 2. But you'll take those as long as you walk away the winner. Round number 1 to Secret. Second round now. Rather than going downstairs, we step across into gym and bedroom instead. Ace, pretty fair to say we're going to see this extended hold set up inside a cache and CCTV that we're so used to seeing now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Secret, they will get out there. I mean, when we talk, anybody, I know we've got a lot of newer people coming in on the back of Invitational and things like that. When we talk about an extended hold, what we're talking is, obviously, you've got your 2 bomb site rooms, gym and bedroom there, left of your screen. But what Team Secret are going to do is they're going to extend that site effectively. They're going to apply a lot of utility out into the 2 rooms on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see Gomfi already reinforcing that east breach, and we can see now Packbull Hive all getting involved here, opening rotations in the cache wall. There's going to be a lot of utility expended. We've got the Goyo shield, we've got a mute jammer, we're going to have manpower out there, and they're just going to try and keep hold of this east side. And the reason that you do that on a defense is basically to try and waste as much time and lives as you can. You want to give, it's almost sort of like just throwing mud out there, Des. You just want to give the attackers something that they have to wade through before they can get onto and focus on that site. And a fair question would be, well, why don't they just go route 1 to site and ignore all that utility? Well, the problem is the defenders that are playing in there, because all they're going to do is collapse back onto you, hit you on the flank, and make your life a living hell. So you've got to get in there and clear them out.
And on this site as well, it's not just that, it's the fact that it controls the south balcony that faces up onto the top floor, where you can see Nate taking a look right now. If you have not got the east control, you cannot safely play on that south balcony, else defenders can rotate down to the window, blast you to the high heavens, and you're then going to struggle to execute, as you've only really got 1 or 2 angles you can play from, rather than the windows that look inside a gym and bedroom, the sites that we're currently looking at assaulting. About 60 seconds in though, nothing worth shouting home about just yet. You've got the work being done by the side of NaVi. They've got the west breach opened up, they've got the hatch opened up into side logistics at the top of your screen, and even got Hive up on the roam on the downstairs. So a bit of a hole coming out in different locations around the map. And with one going down in Doki, keep very close eye on those 4 C4s that the members of Secret are wielding. Those are going to come into massive explosive effect the longer this round goes on.
Doki once again getting open and involved in those opening kills time and time again. He got the kill in round 1, this time takes the death in round 2. We saw back in stage 1 that Doki was massively involved in the entry, went 25-7 over stage 1, which is quite frankly ridiculous, taking 7 deaths over an entire stage. That is absolutely nothing. But this time he is 1 for 1, 50-50 so far inside of stage 2. Blur just watching his angle there will take a good good chunk of damage off Gonfi. That's Gonfi and Sleben both on low health. Sleben was actually downed recently on the mirror, but has been collected now. Then I'm not sure if Blur's aware that he's managed to down Gonfi, but as the challenge doesn't continue to come, I'm sure that he will figure that out in due course, which he does. Moves in, gets the kill, leaves us 4 versus 4 with 50 seconds to go. NaVi still got a bit of work to do. Only just finished clearing out that basement level. Let's not forget they're attacking all the way onto the top floor, and the Valkyrie of Hive could be a big problem here, Des.
They've got to clear him out because, again, speaking about those C4s, that could come out at the right time here. They know about it. Hive's holding off to the side with no idea. Oh, he should be able to collect that one for free. Blur walking into the end of the gun. Keenan with a second. Yes, the diffuser has gone down, but it's a 4 versus 2. C4s were at the ready, didn't quite connect onto the planter themselves, and here you would say it is an advantage for the attackers. Nath finding one to bring it into a 2 versus 3. He's on low HP. The defuse being stuck here by Patbull. Pros don't fake. Can he go it all the way? In they come for the rush in. No, he runs out of time. It was a couple of milliseconds off, but he manages to stick it. Secret taking the second round.
Pros do not fake. Patbull proving that there as he manages to lock it down. And how many times, have we seen that gym equipment come to the rescue of the defenders? The attacker moves in there just trying to get the reclaim. But if they are crouched too close to that gym equipment, you can't get a view over the top of it. It's just a really nasty little height on there that prevents it. And NaVi, they've paid the price there. 2-0 Secret.
Yeah, good little crazy ending to the round 2. We spoke about the 4 versus 2 for Secret. You would have expected them to walk away with that, although generally, once the diffuser is down, you'll find the attackers scatter outside the building, hold these longer, more advantageous angles, and just say, look, you want to come for the diffuse, chances are you're going to have to challenge us at long range first. In that case, no real need. They had to push in because Secret said, forget about that, forget about taking the gunfights, go straight for the diffuse. The other 3 of us will worry about taking these gunfights. But with that rotation of the top 2 sites done successfully by the defenders, we now move into the basement. Next round, expect us to return back up to CC unless Secret lose this site and want to try it one more time. In terms of the setup coming out here, Tim, nothing that you're going to see screams massive roaming here. Maybe Packball, maybe Hive will get out in the map, but looking at a Mute, for example, the Echo, the Maestro, those Intel-based operators or Intel denial-based operators, you generally want to be keeping those on site, I'd wager. As I say that, the Mute runs upstairs and starts placing those jammers down, so everything I just said has fallen to tatters already. Go figure.
Doki's got his drone just wedged up there inside a CCTV, which should give us a good idea that NaVi are going to come in here with a full map clearance. We're not likely to see any sort of rush down dirt tunnel or anything like that. They're going to play it sensible, get onto that top floor and just look to move across. So the drones are already in place to allow them to do that as quickly as possible. You really want to be moving in quite quickly behind your drones. You want that information to be fresh. There is a thing called over-droning whereby you drone and drone and drone and nobody follows it in, and then by the time somebody moves in, guess what? The defenders popped up, they surprise you when they get the kill. So those drones all just position there so that we can try and move in as quickly as possible and get that information whilst it's still red hot into those entry attackers.
I did wonder for a second, seeing Gonfi's got the MP5K, if he was going to play out on the roam with this Mute, given that jammer went down the top floor, but it looked to be the only one he was putting up there. Otherwise, the reason why you've got them looking not hyper aggressively, but at least leaning up towards the ground floor, is they're hoping to catch either someone who comes in quite aggressively, assuming it's clear, or they want to collect a drone or 2. As soon as Saves' drone gets shot out here, chances are they back away or they challenge hyper aggressively. Out comes the drone, and there's the hyper aggressive challenge I was on about coming out from Hive. He wants to sit this one a bit longer, and now he'll beeline it back to site, because for NaVi, they're going to have to step forward a bit more tentatively here. Can't go too aggressive without getting a drone in first. It's only about 10 to 20 seconds wasted, but given how tight some rounds get, that can be a world of difference.
Nath just looking to pressure and push forward in towards Kitchen. As you say, 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time for NaVi, but also plenty of work to be done. This is one of the sites that we do tend to see attacks come right down to the wire. It tends to be the last 20, maybe even 15 seconds when the attackers are looking at mounting that final execute. It's one of those sites where you only really get one throw of the dice quite often. Now, secretly, in there on the Maverick, just looking to clear the hatches out to begin with, get some vertical presence there for NaVi. Packbull playing underneath the kitchen hatch. He will just be looking to try and make a nuisance of himself under there for the time being, but as it gets opened up by the buck, he's just moved himself away, doesn't want to get caught out with a free kill. On go the 2 Selma devices to the kitchen hatch. That's going to give the verticality needed. Now then, Secret need to be careful, because when that kitchen hatch gets open, they could find themselves locked inside of Dirt Tunnel, but not the end of the world if they're expecting a kitchen drop for the plant.
I mean, here, getting control of dirt shouldn't be too difficult given the smoke ban has come through. Normally, you'll see the smoke play inside of dirt with the shotgun in hand and also looking to be sat behind those smoke canisters, wasting 30, 40 seconds or so, detracting attackers from even thinking about it. But for NaVi, it's going to be the main stairs take to accompany this drop potentially coming through. They push themselves in deep here as well. Doki looking to lead the charge as the plant comes in from Nath. They've made it all happen down main stairs. The Echo drone, one blast comes out. Now they're aware of this plant going down. The question is, how long can they make it work for? They're cycling through these yokai drones here as we hit 3 seconds left. Nathan's got to make it work. Packball up close. He gets out the Titan Killer and blasts down Doki and Nath. 3 rounds on the bounce for Secret. Not a line I thought I'd be saying today to kick off Clubhouse.
I mean, I've got a feeling, Des, there's a line about Packbull and debuts.
Said by Day, of all people as well. He was just like, it's his debut. And it was. Remember actually how he started off on Cafe, lying in a dead body and blasting someone in the face as they came running around the corner? Beautiful.
I don't know if we can, can we class this as a full debut, really?
I'm just going to say, he knows, and teams now know for Packball that his best performance comes on his debut. Just keep on giving him debuts time and time again. Easy.
Just keep bringing him back on board. I mean, it was exactly the aggression that was needed there for Team Secret. Nath had just sort of tickled that diffuser a few times, and you were thinking, we might actually make this stick if this continues. You had Doki on the cover. He was holding Gonfi at bay, back down at boxes. The Maestro couldn't get an angle onto Nath as he was planting because he was in a very clever position. There's an actual pillar there that stops the bullets being able to reach. So Packball just took that one by the scruff of the neck. And, that's what a good RGL needs to do sometimes, Des, is just say, right, there's one way and one way only to get this sorted, and that's exactly what he did. Just went absolutely blasting in there. Took Doki out as well, got himself 2 kills and got the round. And as you say, a very unexpected start with a completely successful defensive rotation from Team Secret.
While we're here,
Zero, look at him go here.
Yeah, I want to just.
We've had to put it in slow motion just so we could see it.
Yeah, no one is on main stairs covering this. You even saw, just in case there was, Gonfi on the mute stepped out from inside of Arsenal to peek down main corridor at the time Packball stepped out. He may as well not have bothered because no one was watching at the bottom of main stairs for the side of NaVi. So I understand they had Doki inside looking to challenge into Arsenal, one on the kitchen hatch looking to challenge the longer angles from there, and one also going for the plant. That's 3 members accounted for and one also pushing down blue. That 5th man, you probably could have put him at the bottom of main stairs and just said, look, just stop them flanking into us. But chances are, NaVi didn't expect someone to go that aggressive on the assumption, at least on Secret side, that they would expect someone at the bottom of main stairs. Really well played round from Secret though. Good aggression coming out from Packball. It puts them into a 3-0. Now we get that repeat of the rotation of sites that we spoke about in the previous round, starting off with Cash and CC, then into Gym and Bedroom, and then we'll find ourselves in the basement. Much to Hap's dismay, there is going to be no stock and bar site, I'm afraid.
Absolutely not. 45 seconds gone. We've got. I know how disappointed Hap will be, but unfortunately,
he's in tears in the talent room, mate. That's it. He's done.
Absolutely. You're just going to have to wait for another day.
We'll be waiting many, many more days, Ace, is the way to look at it.
I think he will be, to be fair. 45 seconds gone, and we had the East Breach open. We're now just over the minute mark, and progress continues here. Packball once again dropping himself down to the basement. It wasn't Packball last time, it was Gonfi that was playing down there, but it is a tactic that Secret have employed a number of times on this top floor, and it's not really all too common, Des, to use the basement in that way, as, getting roamers that far away from sight. But they are trying to just play those surprise cards and just pop up when least expected.
I think the only reason really using it is for rotations to move around. Keenan being caught out quite early here. Hyph to provide some cover. Secretly was the one outside the garage door, I believe, put him down here. I'm not sure if he knows he's completed. The drone should have fed him that information. And rather than going for the rescue, Hyph's just here saying, look, I'll wait for him to come stepping in and then I'll go for the challenge. So sit tight for a little bit and we'll see if someone else can come and give some assistance. Once again, though, NaVi moving quite pacey. They are getting themselves out inside of construction here. What a nade, but the ADS at the last second strikes onto it and also prevent the nade back with the impacts. A little bit lucky there. Well-positioned ADS can save your life at the best of times. Keenan is still bleeding out, but for NaVi, with this wall not being so easily opened up now, might find themselves stalling out a little bit. That's
really
a beautiful
didn't need
drone.
to worry about grenades, but I'll bet he was sweating it for a second. Secretly does manage to find the kill onto Sleben, but Keenan did get picked up in the meantime, so it's a little bit of a switcheroo there in terms of the manpower of Secret, but it leaves us 5 versus 4 nonetheless. NaVi have the man advantage, but time is becoming a severe problem for them here. 25 seconds and still not in complete control of sight. A nice nade kill from Secretly is going to help things along, but this position at the top of Cash Stairs is not going to make things any easier. Blur thinks he's got it locked down, but there are players in behind that reinforcement. He's waiting for his opportunity, but it's going to be Nath that manages to find Packbull, trading out that earlier kill onto Doki. He then moves in and starts getting the diffuser down, but here goes Secret. Here come the kills, but Nath manages to get off in time to defend himself, find the kill, saves, locks down the round, and NaVi get themselves onto the board.
Much better coming out from NaVi there. You saw the second kill. Well, not really the second kill. It was the first kill because Keenan went down and then got back up again. The drone that they had sat inside of CCTV, feeding that information to the player out on the East Rappel, just looks across and he goes, look, just wait a second. He's going to step out any moment now and be ready to pre-fire him. He steps out. He gets blasted. Down he goes. Keenan had to get rescued. So Hive was also temporarily offline, leaving just 2 members themselves to stop the NaVi onslaught that came in inside of Cash. So much better out of NaVi, much better coordinated their aggression at the right times, but also control when it was necessary. And for Secret, I think just a little bit of a slip up there. Keenan going down, doing no one any favours because Hive then had to commit himself to helping his teammate inside a garage. They couldn't afford to lose Garage, the East Breach, and Cash because that would have been absolutely catastrophic.
Moving into round number 5 then, Team Secret decide to move sites. They did have the opportunity, if they so wished, to go back to CCTV and Cash, having not won it in the last round, but they've decided to switch things up. They've had plenty of success on the different defensive sites, so I think it's probably a wise choice. Let's just move on, try Gym and Bedroom once again, see if we can lock that down. NaVi, however, they're on a fight back here. If you remember last time around, Des, they did get the diffuser down in Gym and Bedroom. They just failed to protect it. They ended up with only 2 men left, and it's actually a very difficult cover with only 2 men. You usually have somebody outside on the south windows, but there's so many areas once you're only down to 2 defenders that you can be challenged from. The two attackers, when you've got defenders left in numbers, they can get themselves back into CCTV and just make that challenge onto the position Nath was playing quite easily. So if NaVi are going to get the diffuser down again, no major problem, but they just need to make sure they've got the manpower to defend it. Really, you're looking for 3 or even 4 on this site as a best case scenario.
They're leaning quite heavily into the C4s as well, same as they were back in round 2. There's 4 of them on side once again. You had Hype running around downstairs like a madman. He's just waiting for the call to come through. They're going for a plant, bring out the C4s and they will sing, is one way of looking at it. Packbull looking maybe to be a little bit cheeky earlier on, with that in hand, daring someone to step forward. So if he times this right into Garage, you could get a free kill onto Blur here, who I think is aware of the danger and doesn't want to find himself in a position where that C4's coming over and catching out, maybe not even 1, but 2 members of the attacking team. And there it comes, it sings on through. A nice and early one, it's collected a kill. He could now fall back to sight if he was able to and feel quite happy about that because NaVi don't yet have the long lines of sight to be able to stop him. Now that Blur's laid down holding this angle, it's going to be there and ready. Packbull taking a shot or 2, has to keep himself back into cover. However, it's still a big success. They've wasted 75 seconds. They've found a kill onto Doki, removing those frag grenades. Excellent start for Secret.
Packbull's having a great game so far, getting himself onto the board once again. 5-2 now, leading his teams in terms of kills and very impressive. Secretly will take out the Valkyrie camera as he passes. That's just going to draw a little bit of information from the side of the defenders, and here comes the push to try and clear out Cash Room. Packbull's getting right up in the faces once again though. Big Popper Pump working overtime there to try and find a kill, but unsuccessfully. But what he has done is waste another 30 minutes. He's also down Secretly. He does get taken out by Nath, but has taken another big chunk of HP from the side of NaVi. That, however, does leave NaVi now with a minute left on the board. They've got control of the south windows, CCTV and Cash, so they can start thinking about site. 4 versus 4 though, and this is not going to be easy. Secret, they are locked into site here. 4 full 100 HP operators. This going to be a tough one.
How much work has Packbull done there? Killed 1, burnt through 4 frag grenades, or 2 frag grenades, and killed off the other 2 when Doki died. Managed to get 1 guy down to 20 HP because he got res back up again. Nace down to 20 HP, saves at 50. That is a successful roaming fire I've ever seen one on this map, on top of the 2 minutes wasted, like you just said. Beautiful stuff, and now NaVi have really got to buck up their ideas as another C4 kill comes through. This one landing onto Blur as Gonfi strikes big. Keenan traded back out a couple of seconds later as a 3v versus 3 with 10 seconds to play. You've got to make it happen now, NaVi. This is another round going their way. Sleben stepping round into Secretly. There's another trade coming back in. A 2 versus 2. 3 seconds to go, making a 1v2 because Nathan's got to stick this plan. Here comes Hive. He's found 1, found 2. Closed the round out for Secret. That was an absolute masterclass of a gym and bedroom defense coming out of Secret.
Hive in the nick of time there, just getting himself back up the main stairs and getting that nice double. Probably one of the easiest doubles he'll find for himself tonight, if not in his career. Just moves in. They are bang in front of him, lined up nicely. Perfect movement and timing from Hive. Wonderful play from Team Secret. We are waxing lyrical about this team at the minute, Des, and they are earning every single bit of it because, as you say, they are coming out with some textbook defenses. They're winning gunfights here, there, and everywhere. They're using the utility to lethal effect with those nitro kills. And NaVi, they are punch drunk right now.
It's hard. I mean, coming into this season, I think many would have looked at it and said, oh, Kavana finished 3rd place, they'll do great against Vitality. Oh, NaVi finished 1st place, they'll do great against Secret. They've been bottom of the table for the longest time. They've made 2 changes. There's no way they're ready. And EUL is delivering, in typical fashion, a bunch of unexpected results in different orders or different fashions than maybe what you come to expect. But for Secret, I am so impressed by their defenses so far. And the thing is, historically, I would have looked at Secret and said to you, oh, great attacking team, maybe not the strongest when it comes to defenses. I've always found them really well paced and really well coordinated on attack. Their defenses lacked a little bit at points. I think back to when they were August playing in CL, that was something that really haunted them. Admittedly, only one of the 5 players, Hive, that is, still remains from that roster of old. And right now, with their defenses coming up against one of the best teams in Europe, is really impressive. But what I will say is I know NaVi do have struggles attacking this map sometimes. I will wait to reserve judgment until we get into the second half because their defenses could be absolutely phenomenal. But either way, lots of good things to be said about Secret so far.
This is going to seem really critical, and it isn't intended to be.
Tim,
but isn't it around the corner
what?
there? It's not my style, Des, as you know. It just seemed really quite. I don't know what your opinion is. It seemed quite late that he ADS'd onto that window for the potential peak, and I feel like he'd have been dead if there was somebody there. You know, it was just that second too late, and it just makes me wonder if maybe NaVi are just lacking a little bit of match fitness here after a month off. You know, they've had that month without too much competitive play. I'm sure there's been plenty of scrimming and practice going on, but there's no substitute for being in the map in a competitive game, and
True.
Maybe just a little bit behind the pace so far. But as you say, maybe that side switch, get them onto attack, it might just give them everything. Get them onto defense. It might just be everything that they need now. Doki goes round, he gets that opener onto Hive. This is what they need. This is what NaVi require now. Get those opening kills, drive forward, momentum. Gonfi taking damage as well. This is where NaVi thrive.
I was really nervous for a second that he was going to die with all 4 of his boom bots in his back pocket here, because with those 4, you can do so much work in terms of opening up soft destruction from above, making players move, destroying things like shields. It's a really, really valuable set of gadgets you've got, and in fact, the first one is being deployed here, I imagine, to try and get rid of these ADSs. That doesn't get sprayed out. He could do a lot of work, but it's to get rid of the Maestro Evil Eye. You'll see that a lot. I spoke to a bunch of players actually coming into the stage and asked, what do you think of Flores? Half said, really valuable. You're going to see him brought along on more specific maps, things like Chalet, Oregon, Cafe were the ones that really got celebrated as. There's really strong power positions here in which he can be really good in bunker busting. But here with Doki bringing him along, not too surprised to see it already being now put to use. Was just a little bit nervous about that initial engagement coming in onto blue. But after they've seen it once, they know how to adapt, and Hive is dealt with in no time at all.
In comes yet another of those drones looking to clear out either further utility or force the man out of position. We can see it just being anchored there inside of blue. The explosion goes off, and if any utility was in range, it will have taken it out. And as you say, another one is raining in now. Doki just looking, I think, to try and get himself inside a sight that time, but will be unsuccessful. Shot out, but Nath, he manages to get the kill onto Sleben, leaving us now 5 versus 3. 30 seconds left to go, and here comes the push from NaVi. They're looking to get aggressive now. Gonfi taking damage as well, secretly with a beautiful long angle, looking to hold down Dirt Tunnel all the way from that oil pit corridor while the diffuser goes down. Nath will be successful. 5 versus 1 now. It's all for Pikebull. What a double, but secretly shuts him down from that long angle position that he was holding. Perfectly played and timed from him, but Pikebull, don't do that to my heart. He comes in with a huge double, and you think he might have this in the locker here.
I thought he was going to flick up and find himself a third then as well onto the player inside of blue, but not quite connecting it. It feels like for NaVi, it was more of a warming sort of thing in that first half, though. That second round, again, really good, structured, composed, playing behind drones and information. That's what we lacked seeing in the first 4 rounds at points there. Secret really having the run of the mill. For NaVi to find those 2 rounds, not a bad outcome. A 4-2 split on Clubhouse, you'll take that. Now it's turning around and converting it into full wins. And looking at the setup they've got here, Ace, this just screams to me something like 5 C4s could be brought along if they want to make use of that. But it's certainly a little bit of a unique setup coming out.
It certainly is. It's an awful lot of explosives. I mean, we are down in Church and Arsenal. You know, let's not forget there is the potential for, we've got impact nades there for clearing off explosives from the kitchen hatch. So that's going to be more than likely their primary job, is just trying to keep that kitchen hatch closed. But also then, as Secret gather inside of kitchen, inside of the corridor at the top of main stairs, there's an awful lot of soft floor. We can see all that woodwork beneath Kapkan's feet, and there's a lot of opportunity for nitros to be utilised there. And the thing is, Des, if you can hit even 1 vertical nitro in a round, it's just a free kill. There's just no challenge back onto it. If you put that up underneath the floorboards, it's an absolute freebie. There's no risk whatsoever. So we'll see how it pans out. It's certainly something to watch out for. Doki, he's going to play that disgusting angle from logistics down into kitchen.
This is a real old NaVi classic. I remember when Nello used to be on the team, they used to do this, where they have a player playing upstairs and almost not just go through 1 floor, but through both floors, down into basement, onto a default spot if they wanted it. But I can't remember what tournament it was at. I believe it was a major, where actually they played against a team that tried the same thing against them. They just walk straight into kitchen, look up, and just shoot the guy in the head. And I was like, whoa. It's a team that's very familiar with those vertical angles, so I'm keen to see if they have someone playing on it, and if Secret have the presence of mind to look up, because normally when you're going into kitchen, you're looking downstairs. Let's see if they catch it or not, and of course if it can be capitalized on by NaVi.
Keenan putting some fire in towards the Roma there. We can see the challenge continues as Saves. He decides to just dip himself back into garage, but I don't think he'll be quite ready to just completely give up on lounge yet. Nope, we see him moving back in there. He's just looking to hassle Secret at this point. They don't want them getting too much map control early in the round. This is what this is all about. It's wasting time. There's a lot of work to do when assaulting onto that bottom floor, and especially with the nitros in hand, they might just like to get Secret rushing in the later round and maybe not paying attention to things like standing still for too long inside a kitchen, just to get that opportunity to catch them out. But for the time being, Doki, he's wriggled his way over to strip. There could be the potential for a big flank coming in here later in the round, Des.
He's sort of staring each other down here as well. Saves holding the angle, prepared for the Zofia to come stepping over. They've got the ping coming through this, so they know that he's there. Oh, you see a couple of pixels appear, but Saves finds it first. Down goes Hyphen. Yes, he found the kill initially on the top floor onto Nath, but with that one coming back out, Saves is like, right, peace out, got my kill, I'm getting back to site, don't want to try and stretch this any further than it's already gone.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect from Saves. That's what you're looking for. Like you say, we're down at the 2-minute mark gone now. There's a lot of work still for Secret to do before they can start moving for an execute. They have just opened Dirt Tunnel, so that gives them another option there. Now then, Doki's been pinged out. You can see the yellow ping there. Keenan's looking to move and make a challenge, but Doki for the time being is going to keep himself locked in. Gomfi's going to support, just looking to see if he can find the angle through the softball, and that's an absolute beauty.
Simple things. A little bit of information passed back and forth between the team. The beautiful irony being that there's a Mute and a Mozzie on the other side. They're still, of course, out in strip. You're likely not to see any of those placed down that far out. And Doki just gets himself ripped a new one as a result from that. For Secret, they've got a good commanding position in a 4 versus 3, but like you say, there's still so much time they've got to play with here. Not a lot of time to play with. They've got about 15 seconds. They've had the 2 exothermics detonated off that kitchen hatch. They're going to have to go for a Hail Mary push down main stairs.
And here comes a big double, I was about to say, but no, Sleben able to shut Secretly down 3 versus 2 now. And here comes the Hail Mary, Des. It's been thrown, the ball is in the air. The question is, will it be caught? Pikebull, he's getting that user down. Is there anything he hasn't done for his team today? He manages to successfully lock in that plant, but look at the health left on Sleben. Blur at full health against the damaged Diana, but it doesn't matter. He finds that final frag, and Team Secret look devastating right now.
Such fine margins. He wouldn't have known if he was stepping out crouched or stood up, but he gambled on him being stood up, and out he comes. Instant headshot, knowing that Sleben was on about 5 HP there. He had to make that first shot count, and my God, did he make it count. Secret now at 5-2. One more round. They guarantee themselves overtime at the very least, and NaVi, I imagine, are getting a bit nervous now. You're still on the defense, but Secret have just picked you apart. There is going to be work to do, and to think, Ace, they pulled all that together with about 20 seconds left on the clock. They had nothing left in the tank. They had to make it happen there and then down the main stairs, and they were successful. Incredible round.
Absolutely wonderful stuff from Team Secret. I'm sure there's a lot of Team Secret fans sat out there right now very pleased with what they are seeing as they manage to lock in round 7 and find themselves 5-2 up and only 2 rounds away from taking the whole of the 3 points available from this matchup. And right now, I tell you what, you wouldn't bet against them doing it. Now, Gompy, look at this, Des. Absolutely brilliant. There's information there for him in the form of a yellow ping. Doki, it's a tough one to call because there are so many angles in Siege. He's sat next to a soft wall. You don't necessarily think another soft wall at a different angle is going to get opened up to give the view to where you were sat. So really, you know, there's nothing that he can do about that, but that one's going to sting.
Oh, well, I mean, this is the best. That's what I said, the beauty of the mirror here is that you can just punch it out now, and when you're on the defensive side with it punched out, it's basically a solid wall. Like, you can't see through it, so you may as well just shoot it out here and play around the advantage that you have of being able to shoot back. So I like it. This also now makes it harder for the side of Secret to just get on this wall and open things up. For example, a Maverick may now struggle to be able to rappel upside down and get out half that wall because he'd have to expose himself ever so slightly. So I like the small variation you're seeing here coming out of NaVi. Maybe a small advantage that you get with the new change coming through to the mirror.
It certainly is, like you say, bang that mirror on the outside wall. We have seen it occasionally previously just to sort of support a bandit in tricking or a Kai, just to give that visual feedback of when the attempt is coming to open the wall, but this time used much more directly than that. Now then, we're going to have Nath downed by a nade there, but he will be collected and recovered, but that leaves Nath and Doki both on low health, and it is early in the round. There's a lot of defending yet to be done. Doki, he's looking to get himself out of sight. He's just not comfortable sitting there waiting for the kills to come to him. He wants to go to them. He's that sort of player is Doki. If he hears a barricade punched out, he will run in the direction of it to try and find the man coming into the map and get them shut down. But it's been a struggle for him so far. 2-7, not got himself too involved as of yet.
This is the thing, right? This has been the age-old joke about Doki since he was playing in the UK, or the ESL Premiership back then as it was known, or UKIN in the modern form, I guess, is he's either going 14-0 or 0-14. High impact player or totally no impact, and it's starting to feel a little bit like the latter at the moment. Not super great in terms of his contribution, but with that C4 that came out, I thought surely if he pulls that, Patbull dies, but I think he was taking his time to rotate back to site first before thinking about it. Not quite sure what happened there. Doesn't work out in his favor. Now you've got the side of Secret starting to look on their setup inside of construction. Again, they take this round. They're 6-2. They're stepping in towards a spot where they're going to force all the pressure onto the side of NaVi, and that opening nade is not going to do you any favors for that pressure.
Patbull just having a little attempt there, and with Nath being on such low health, it really wouldn't have taken much to catch him and finish him off. Now he's going to use the reverse angle of that mirror that's been opened up just to see if he can get a view in towards cash stairs, but at the minute Nath's just holding himself far enough back that he can't. Now out goes the nitro there, but be careful with your footwork, Nath. If you step too far back, you will expose yourself to the mirror window. Now Doki looking for the challenge onto garage door, using the SMG and nearly finds it. Keenan, however, does find saves, finds himself a second. Gompy finishes Doki. It's all falling apart. There's Keenan. He's getting the diffuser down. It's all up to Secretly. He's got his health, but not much else going for him. He's locked onto the rafters here. They are aware of his location. Patbull peeking from the mirror on the east breach there. Just locked Secretly in place. There's nothing he can do here. The chip damage starts to rain in. This is uncomfortable to watch. There's every angle is covered. I could just feel it. You just knew he was just between a rock and a hard place. There was nothing he could do. A matter of time, and Secret close out yet another round. That is now 6-2 and a lot of match point opportunities.
I'd like to report Secret for bullying there a little bit. It felt like in those dying seconds in that 4 versus 1. And for Doki, oh, it's going to sting so much. First the 1v1 onto the door, the second one onto the player that challenged him the second time round and loses that one as well. It's unfortunate, but two big fights there. If he killed the player on the garage door and the one that came through into lounge, very different round and different conversation that we're having here. It's not his day. We spoke about it already. Now sitting at 2-8. It is unfortunate, but for Secret, let's celebrate what they've done here, Ace. They're at 6-2 against the team that topped the table back in stage 1. They've had 2 changes coming in, so they've had what? Sleben and Gonfi at the start of last stage. Now they've had the later 2 coming in Keenan and Packbull. And somehow they're making it work. It's a wonderful start to the season for them, and one that I'm sure they'll walk away relishing and remembering. These are the things that we can achieve. Something just seems to, you know, whenever it comes to a new roster, it either sticks or it completely flops. And for these boys right now, it is looking like one of the most successful roster changes you could have asked for.
Oh, it's a red hot start. I mean, I questioned it coming in about, you know, the potential lack of stability.
Between the two of them, there's 2 newbies.
Exactly. You know, this is it. You know, I come in questioning the potential lack of stability and the possible problems. Obviously, you know, a couple of new players stage 1, a couple of new players stage 2. You don't always know how that sort of volume of rotation is going to pan out. And I was a little bit concerned about Secret. You know, I'll be honest. I think probably most people would have predicted NaVi to be walking away with the result here. But, you know, and as Jess said, coming in on one of NaVi's strongest maps. But they're just being absolutely dismantled by Team Secret right now. They just don't seem to be able to match up to the aggression that Team Secret are bringing. Whenever there's a problem, Team Secret seem to have one method of dealing with it, Des, and that's head on. Just get in there and get kills and open things up, and it's been fantastic to watch so far. They really have been very, very dominant.
Well, let's see how this one plays out. A bit of a different setup coming out from NaVi. Not seeing things like the cap cam returning here. Instead, bringing along the Frost on Secretly. Still really leaning quite heavily into explosives, mind you, but this time around there is a barbed wire on the side of Doki and shield for Secretly. So definitely a changing tactic here that they identify the need to be dealing with. One thing I do want to raise again about Packbull and Keenan, by the way, the 2 support players on the team. They're the ones doing a lot of work. To be fair, everyone on the side of Secret, as you look down the kind of kills on either side, 3 on 7, 1's on the 6, 7's on the 4. For example, not going to complain too much about that, but it's a team effort coming into this game. It's not down to one member having an excellent game, it's everyone getting stuck in.
Nath just looking for a little peek there. Does see his man, but won't catch him. He has a flick towards it, but always very difficult shots to make there. Not only moving horizontally across the window, but also needing that vertical accuracy on his cursor at the same time. Now, Sleben's looking to get himself inside of the building pretty quickly. We can see that we've got lots of information being fed in on both sides of the team. Saves bringing along the Valkyrie, and Valkyrie becoming a more and more popular ban over the last stage, and it continues. We saw she was actually banned in every game of APAC yesterday, Des. Every single one, we didn't see Valkyrie available at all, and it just shows the value of those black eye cameras and the information that they feed in.
I think for a lot of teams, especially when you want to play aggressive, the last thing you want is to be worried about a defender camera just catching you out as you're trying to push an aggressive somewhere, and before you know it, you're getting shot from somewhere you didn't know about because of the info being fed by those cams. What I will give to NaVi here, I mean, look at the difference in style. When Secret were on the defense, they had 2 members playing mostly up blue, trying to challenge up main stairs to get rid of a drone or 2. For NaVi here, every single man is dug in on site. It is a very turtle-based setup. They're not wanting to get aggressive, not wanting to take risks. And I imagine if that is because of their predicament here where they're down at 6-2.
Gonfi just trying to make very sure there that the default cam was out. I think there was just a little bit of debris in his way, so he couldn't see if it had been done or not. But we can see from Saves' cam that we've got some progress coming in from Team Secret here. They've got the bar hatch open, so that's access to Moto, but we've got Nath just watching that. Secretly is locked into Dirt Tunnel at the minute, so NaVi are looking pretty well set. They've got all the angles covered. They will still no doubt have a man playing in blue. It's Doki on Jaeger as expected. Sleben is going to look to push down in that direction. Goes down with the Gon 6 to try and clear out any utility in that oil pit corridor, and he's going to be supported by Hive as well. Doki, it's a choice just to dip himself back into sight. Now, here goes Hive. He's moving in looking for an opening kill. It's going to be Packbull that actually finds it onto Saves, and here we go. The trade comes in from Doki, and this is going to be a last-second bloodbath here. 15 seconds left to go, and the kills start coming. Secretly onto Hive, Blur onto Sleben. It's all going in the way of NaVi right now. They get themselves around round, Des. They get themselves back fighting. They need to use this as a foundation now to start building. That is a successful defense of Church and Arsenal, and it brings it back to 3-6.
I was really nervous when Doki stepped across into Church and left Blue abandoned. I was like, normally you want this because you'll have a player supporting from AKs up to the north and also the player playing around Generator. The player to the north stops you just walking in for free without being challenged. So you got to face to your right first and challenge the guy on AKs, and then worry about the Jaeger that's going to swing onto you. But with Doki moving away, just being able to slip in around the back of Generator, I thought, oh no, if he gets in the right angle here, he kills 2 or 3 people and the round is done. I think lucky that he didn't walk away with the kill onto the Melusi, for example, and potentially the one inside of Dirt. Pays off for them. NaVi do take the round, but there's still a 3-round deficit here that they need to be closing, and ultimately they've got to rotate through every single site. For Secret here, they just find one strat that works on one of these sites or a small slip in NaVi's setup, and this game is done.
Round number 10 then, 6-3 we find ourselves, and as you say, no more mistakes here, Des. This is it. It's every single round for NaVi now, or it is nothing at all. We're going to be heading up to the top floor. Gym and Bedroom will be their next defence. They've decided to just leave CCTV and Cash for the time being. No luck there back in round number 8. So they're going to go to Gym and Bedroom, which would be the normal third choice site. And they're going to have to lock it down. Nathan the Maestro just getting the Evil Eye camera, looking for that overwatch inside of Gym, and the potential for a little bit of plant denial as well. Of course, those laser shots are still capable of stopping somebody getting the diffuser down on the ground. Now, a lot of utility once again applied out on that east side. We've got frost mats, we've got reinforcements, we've got Secretly playing over on that side as well on the mute, so there will no doubt be mute jammers just to prevent information for Secret on the attack. Just trying to leave them going into that area blindfolded. Just make them have to peek everything.
Yes, small things in this round that's going to make the difference, I think. I mean, looking at it for NaVi, no massive stacking of explosives like we've seen previously. It was mainly Secret that were rocking the 4 C4s on the defense of this site. For NaVi, it is a slightly different tack, but as always, it's going to be this extended hold out towards the east that no doubt is going to be the focus. Already getting these south windows shot out, that gives you some orchestration and an idea of what they're going to go for here. Get control of the east, and then you have control of the south balcony. That can help you set up for a multifaceted attack where, with the window control, you can restrict the defenders a little bit. You cut the angles through the hallway, you stop them rotating back in from construction. A lot of things work in your favor, and here they're not even too worried about it by the looks of it. In fact, they're starting to open things up already. So maybe there's not going to be a focus out towards the east. Instead, might just try and go in for this one with someone holding the window itself.
Well, Hive is going to hold the head of saves as he managed to take it off his shoulders there with the entry kill. That's going to start things off for Team Secret and get them to now man advantage. That is a long angle into Bedroom that he has found there to take the man down. And NaVi find themselves on the back foot here defensively. They're a man down, and the pressure is starting to mount in towards Cash as well. We're just over the halfway mark, and Secret is starting to really push forward and apply some pressure from that east side breach.
Secretly forced to move away with that shield no longer being on red. C4 over the top. I thought was going to connect there. It must have been shot out at the last second again. That's been 2 or 3 today that have been caught out of mid-air by the looks of it. Ace hasn't necessarily been the best play for C4 wielding operators, it feels like, but Secretly again is wasting quite a bit of time here. We're 2 minutes in and he's still holding inside of Cash. So the question now comes to Secret, do we just go for it? They found 2 kills inside of site itself, so could just say, forget about pushing inside of CCTV, let's just go direct to site.
Secretly still holding on to the top of Cash stairs for the time being, and that's just preventing Gomfi from pushing forward, but it doesn't matter. Gomfi is doing exactly what he needs to do here. He's facilitating his man on the south balcony, playing on the windows, and he gets the kill, Des. Big play from Gomfi there in the terms of this round, and it puts Secret in the driving seat now. 4 versus 1, it's all down to Doki. If there's a man on this team who can do it, you're looking at him right now, but it's a big ask. He comes through, shut down at the top of the stairs, and that is going to be a surprising result for Team Secret. Everybody in this league is capable of wins, Des, but Secret with 2 new players coming in against NaVi, top of the league in stage 1. You gotta say, we didn't expect it to be that dominant a win for Team Secret, but what a performance from them.
I'll say it again, so impressed by their defensive setups coming out from them there. I think in the first 3 rounds, there were 5 kills spread across the NaVi team. That's just how dominant Secret were to kick things off, and sure, NaVi worked their way back in and got a couple of rounds, but you saw once it switched, it only went from bad to worse, going 6-2 to Secret. They've had one hell of a map then. I remember on the desk at the start we were saying, man, this is like NaVi's favourite map. Why would you take them there to start the season? Turns out Secret really like Clubhouse as well. Can't wait to see what they're going to do in future weeks. That was one hell of a game. Let's go over to the desk and have them break it down a little bit further.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Yes, we are back on the analyst desk, and my God, Secret really have surprised all of us, though not as much for you, Jess, because you talked about this in a pre-show.
Oh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you're right.
I love to be right, okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, when have you ever been mad about being right?
Whoa, okay. Look, everyone's a little bit happy when they're right.
Uh-huh.
But this one actually hurts me to be right about. And the reason that it hurts me is because I likened the success of NaVi and the toppling down of NaVi to what happened to Rogue. I may have cast a cursed Rogue, rather NaVi, and I will accept that today. So if you're sitting there going, it's Jess's fault, then fine. But it's actually not, because if you look at how Team Secret played today, they were outplayed. NaVi were on the back foot. Something I really want to highlight before we throw it over to Em, of course, to sort of break down some of the deficiencies on the side of NaVi. The big things for Team Secret on attack, their droning was exceptional. I'm talking to about, I think it was round 6 it might have been, I might be wrong on that one specifically, but they had drones everywhere. They had a drone in garage, they had a drone in strip, yellow pings everywhere. That is amazing to be able to spot every single NaVi player with a yellow ping from one side of the map to the other. That is a skill not many teams have.
Yeah, it's entirely right. It was, as I said at the beginning, when we came to Club, you're thinking it's a great map for NaVi, but a great map for you is complacency. And it was punished complacency because Secret came here with a very hot game. They came here with a very aggressive intel game. The information that they were gathering was it was in its entirety. It was completely conclusive of everything that NaVi wanted to do, which is why you saw these big Roam potential players. You saw Blur, you saw Doki struggling to find a way into any of this action, was because Secret had that entire web of information. They had entirely entangled all of Club, which, to be honest, if there's a map to do it on, it's Club, because you're going to expect NaVi to probably expect to take it, and you're going to expect them to not be as quick to respond to that sort of play.
And this is something we repeat constantly for attackers specifically. Information is half the game in Rainbow Six. And when you know how to utilize it and actually gather it in the first place, you're going to be very successful on your attacking side, which is usually the more difficult side in general.
Should be.
But Secret were also effective on their defense in the beginning, which when we look at the macro scale in Clubhouse, that's kind of the expected bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll quickly flip down just to give everyone an indication as to how, in at least stage 1, it was the most played map, so I have a lot of stats to go through. It was almost 50-50 attacking and defending sided. So as the match summary comes up, it'll give you a good indication that NaVi, no matter what side they were playing on, they could have had a good chance to take this, albeit it seems that Secret just had their number, and honestly, for me, I just don't know how to take this.
Well, that's it. I think the best way to sort of read this intel and information is that the difference wasn't a pop-off player. The difference wasn't someone having an exceptional game. It's across the board, across both teams. That 3-kill difference or whatever, that round swinging difference is from the intel, is from the control of that big aspect of the game that NaVi were never able to have as solid. There's your main man, Packball.
There we go. We love that. And that's what you want for Packball to come in, take a flex support role like this as he's been playing, and be able to have the impact. I did question you, and I know we'll get to it in the interview as well to be able to ask, but I did question you when we were in the back room. I said, I wonder who's making the leadership decisions on this, because you don't do such a good job on your attack without really good leadership behind you.
Yeah, and that's a question that we will actually ask Packball, who is ready for us.
MVP and the interviewee? Damn.
He does it all on his debut.
Let's get him on here.
Yeah. We're waiting. It's connecting.
He's making a grand entrance, as he should.
It is.
He's signing his fans.
19th debut.
There he is. He's in the wrong place.
Oh.
He's over there.
Oh.
Hello. No one can see him yet, but he's over there.
In this room. There we go.
Oh, we have 2 of them now.
Yeah, he's so
you guys
powerful.
can't see it. We can. There it is. It's fixed. Packball, hello.
Hello.
Congratulations on your victory on your 27th debut. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. I think this is debut number 11. Sorry, let me just leave TeamSpeak. I hear all my teammates. I'm doing very good. I think this is debut number 11, or maybe 10 actually. So feels good to be back.
Feels good to be back with Team Secret with a different format on the team. How's it been meshing up? Did you guys have a lot of time in the lead up to stage 2 to kind of prepare and practice together to deliver this effective victory against NaVi?
I think we had about a month, pretty much dead on, like 30 days to prepare, like from me meeting the players to today. But we've been working flat out. We've had like no days off. We've been, you know, early morning starts, like 9 a.m. till late into the evenings. We've been like putting in the work that we really needed to put in because we all knew we were like pretty far down in the standings.
Well, speaking about being far down in the standings, you've knocked NaVi off their top dog spot, which is a very, very impressive. I wanted to ask, since you've got all the changes, who is now taking leadership roles, like in regards to IGLing, shot calling, because your attack was very impressive.
Yeah, so I'm in IGL again.
Makes sense.
But Gumpy, Gumpy also helps out a lot. Gumpy is a really vocal player. He adds a lot to the problem solving in the team and also just to the general mid-round comms. So yeah, I'm in IGL, but Gumpy's the co-caller.
How is this different than the old style of playing with this team? From your own perspective, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was on the team previously, we had like an okay performance. I think we were around 5th or 6th when I was on the team before, but we really had a lack of kind of like character and a lack of kind of, I guess, the right mix of players, it felt like. Compared to now,
personality-wise, you mean?
No, I mean more like roles in the team. Okay. Like we maybe had, I don't know, like 4 fraggers and 1 support or whatever, and then it meant people were playing roles they're uncomfortable on. But now we have like the perfect mix, I would say.
Fair enough. I mean, trying to apply the G2 strategy. Hey, they didn't even work with it. That said, Packbull, it is your first time here competing back again in Stage 2. You're victorious against NaVi, a big win against the top team in Stage 1. Anything you'd like to say to all the fans out there looking at Team Secret and hopeful for the future?
I mean, thank you to everyone that's supported us in the past. We always say it, but your support really does like mean the world to us. And hopefully today, knocking off the best team from last season. Hopefully we earned a few new fans. But yeah, we'll be doing everything we can to keep all our fans happy and giving them a performance they deserve.
Always a bit of fun giving Doki a big fat L at the end of the day, so I'm sure that is a fun time for you and the team. Congratulations again to you, Packbull. We can't wait to see you in our next play day because you guys, actually, since I have it here in front of me, you're going against your opponents of Team Rogue, so I'm quite interested for that. Anything you'd like to say to them?
I mean, everyone on our team is pretty much like really good friends with everyone on Rogue, so
why are all the
so
EU
not fighting
people?
words.
Yes, I was.
You're
all
telling
the
me
EU people are
someone-
so nice.
Listen, we're just trying to be as dramatic as NAL. Can we have?
We're just
can
nice
we have some
people.
screaming
Yeah,
at
can
each
you
other?
be nasty a
we
little
need some
bit?
heat.
I can go again if you want.
Yeah,
I can go
let's
again.
just
Go
do a
again.
retake
So
of that.
let's
do it
again,
let's
do
do
it
it
again,
again.
do it again.
So
Cut out that first part.
So for you, Packbull, you're playing against Rogue in the next play day. Anything you'd like to say to them?
I mean, we all hate the players on Rogue. You know, terrible players.
Wow.
Really.
Solid, strong words.
So 7-0 is incoming. I've got that correct.
yeah,
yes?
we've got that vibe.
Yeah, of course. Like,
Because I was wondering, like, there's somebody on Secret or in the world that's friends with Corey? That's kind of crazy. I don't know why we're roasting Rogue right now. Packbull, thank you so very much. Again, congratulations on your victory against NaVi. Can't wait to see you in the next play day. Until then, good night.
yep. Thank you. See you.